Welcome all of you once again to language skill paper. In this series of videos, you're going to watch and listen to the paper language skill semester 1 BSc Physics Chemistry, BCom Computer Application and Finance, BSc Zoology and Botany first semester. In this class, we are going to get familiar with the poem Lines Addressed to a Warrior, which is in the second module of language skills. The poem is written by Meena Kandaswamy, a well-known personality in India. Venil Meena Kandaswamy is a modern Indian poet, fiction writer, translator, and activist, feminist activist who is based in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. Most of her works are centered on feminism and the anti-caste annihilation movement of the contemporary Indian milieu. Meena Kandaswamy has actively sought to combine her love for the written word with the struggle for social justice through poetry, translation, fiction, and essays for the last 15 years. Kandaswamy's full name is Ilavenil Meena Kandaswamy. She is a modern Indian poet, Adhunika Indian Kavayatri. She is also a fiction writer. She writes novels. She has translated a number of books. And also she is a feminist activist. A feminist activist. She actively participates in feminist activities. And she is based in Chennai. She is from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And her works are centered on feminism. Most of her works are centered on the theme of feminism. Feminism, ആ ഫിലോസഫി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ കാഴ്ചപ്പാടിൻ്റെ ചുറ്റും നിന്നുകൊണ്ടാണ് തൻ്റെ എഴുത്തുകൾ കവയിത്രി എഴുതുന്നത്. Meena Kandaswamy has actively sought to combine her love for the written word with the struggle for social justice through poetry. കവിതയുടെ ഭാഷ ഉപയോഗിച്ച് കവിതാരൂപത്തിൽ താൻ വിശ്വസിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ തൻ്റെ വ്യക്തിപരമായ ചിന്തകൾ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും ജാതിക്കെതിരെയുമുള്ള പുരുഷ മേധാവിത്വത്തിനുമെതിരെയുള്ള വാക്കുകൾ തൻ്റെ കവിതയിലൂടെ തൻ്റെ എഴുത്തിലൂടെ പ്രചരിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ശൈലി പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും മീന കന്ദസ്വാമിയുടെ എഴുത്തിൽ നിഴലിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. So whatever she has written, whether it was translation or fiction or essays, this kind of tendency, her fight against patriarchy and also her fight against caste system is shadowed or underlined. That apart from her literary works, in addition to her literary works, she is vocal about various contemporary political issues related to caste, corruption, violence, and women's right in more ways than one. She has an influential and regular social media presence through her Facebook and Twitter handles. She also writes columns for platforms like Outlook India and The Hindu occasionally. Apart from her literary works, so she has written a number of literary works, and in addition to that, she speaks or she uses various platforms to address contemporary political issues that are related to caste, corruption, violence, and women's rights in more than one. So she uses different platforms to raise up her voice against various contemporary issues, particularly political issues that are related to caste system, corruption, violence, and women's rights in more ways than one. So പലതരത്തിലുള്ള സാമൂഹിക പ്രശ്നങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് തൻ്റെ എഴുത്തിലുപരിയായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കുവാൻ മീന കന്ദസ്വാമിക്ക് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. So more than that, she uses social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. They are influential social media platforms, and she makes use of it to address the social issues or political issues in the society of India. Meena Kandaswami's famous works. One of her famous quotations: "Let me tell you something that goes against popular wisdom. Love is not blind, it just looks in the wrong places." In 1984, her pen name is Meena. Occupation is writer, activist, and translator. We are going in depth into the poem, so I will just recite it. Come, colonize me. Creep into the hollows of my landscape. My eyes click lock. No more the drawing of the gates. Set up your home, your office, the writing desk and the trading post. Ignore the sand brown of my skin, a willing blind. I will never know black from white. Take me and talk of your finer finish. Stun I'll so script your stories here. Once again, come colonize me. Creep into the hollows of my landscape, my eyes click log. No more the drawing of the gates. Set up your home, your office, the writing desk and the trading post. Ignore the sand brown on my skin, a willing blind. I will never know black from white. Take me and talk of your finer finish. Stun I'll so script your stories here. Stanza. Invade this inner space. Adjust the pace and poils of marching armies under house your machine guns, its manuals. Populate me with anthems, the songs of wrath and those of war. Draft words that echo of gunfire to accompany my long dance of submission. The pose and the power of crazy, you conquer me never with malice or manhood. Invade this inner space, adjust the pace and pulse of marching armies and house. Your machine guns and its manuals, or played me with the anthems of songs of wrath as of war, draft words that echo of gunfire to company. My launch mad and power crazy, conquer me never with malice or manhood. News. Capture every territory, fill up all my blank skin, to resound with the strike of scimitars, the sadness of success. Have all your battles lost or won, chronicled across my line of down. The central image of the poem is the metaphor of the human body in relation to a country. Violence is a recurring element in the poem. Machine guns, the phrase machine guns, and the phrase the songs of wrath and those of war, words that echo of gunfire. Violence is inevitable in conquest and invasions. Colonization is synonymous with wars and battles. This violent imagery in the country is also resonant with physical violence and abuse. This poem, there is a central image. Usually we see a central image or കേന്ദ്രീകൃത പ്രതിബിംബം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ രൂപം എന്നൊക്കെ പറയാം. സോ ഈ പോയത്തിലുടനീളം നമ്മൾ കാണുന്ന കേന്ദ്രീകൃത കേന്ദ്രീകൃതമായുള്ള പ്രതിബിംബം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇമേജ് അതൊരു മെറ്റഫറാണ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ മെറ്റഫർ. യു നോ വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ ഡെഫിനേഷൻ ഓഫ് മെറ്റഫർ? ഒരു അലങ്കാരം ആണ്. Metaphor of the human body in relation to a country. Here, the human body is compared to a country, or a country is compared to a human body. So you can see uh, an image of human body. So മനുഷ്യന്റെ ശരീരം എന്ന ഒരു അലങ്കാര പ്രയോഗം കവിതയിലുടനീളം നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കഴിയും. There is a central element that recur in the poem. It comes to the poem again and again. That is the central element. What is it? It's violence. കേന്ദ്രീകൃതമായിട്ടുള്ള ആവർത്തിച്ച് വരുന്ന ഒരു ഘടകം ഈ കവിതയിലുണ്ട്. That we call as the element, central element of the poem. It is violence. So what is the meaning of violence? എന്താണ്? It can be psychological violence or physical violence. It's a becoming violence or being violent. ആക്രമണ സ്വഭാവമുള്ള. So it can be a physical violence or psychological violence. And other phrases, there are certain phrases comes to the poem again and again. They are machine guns. Machine guns. You know what's the meaning of machine guns? Then the songs of wrath and those of war. Machine guns and the songs of wrath and those of war. ക്രോധത്തിൻ്റെ സംഗീതം, അതുപോലെ യുദ്ധത്തിൻ്റെ സംഗീതമൊക്കെയാണ്. Then words that echo of a gunfire. The words that echo of a gunfire. പീരങ്കിയിൽ നിന്നും അലയടിച്ചു വരുന്ന വാക്കുകൾ. So these are all symbols of violence. Violence is inevitable in conquest and invasions. See, if one country wants to invade or conquer another country, there is no option. There is no option other than violence. See, without violence, you cannot conquer another country or invade another country. ഒരു രാജ്യത്തെ കീഴടക്കണമെങ്കിൽ, കൈവശപ്പെടുത്തണമെങ്കിൽ ആക്രമണമല്ലാതെ മറ്റൊരു മാർഗമില്ല. See, colonization is synonymous with wars and battles. Colonization. Kalanivalkaranam. See, uh, in the time past, certain developed countries colonized other developing countries. So colonization, that we call colonization, making other countries colonies of the mother country. So colonization is synonymous with wars and battles. Colonization means war and battle. യുദ്ധം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ യുദ്ധത്തിലുള്ള പോരാട്ടങ്ങൾ. സോ അത് കോളനിവൽക്കരണം ചില യുദ്ധങ്ങളും യുദ്ധത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള പോരാട്ടങ്ങളും ഒഴിച്ചുകൂടാൻ വഴിയാത്തതാണ്. This violent imagery in the country is also a resonant image in the poem. So this imagery recurs in the poem with physical violence and abuse. നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ മാനസികമായിട്ടുള്ള ആക്രമണം, ശാരീരികമായുള്ള ആക്രമണം. So this imagery is resonating with physical violence and abuse. The important element in the poem is the metaphor of writing, making history and recording it. See, in addition to the image of violence, there is another element. It is again a metaphor, that is of writing. എഴുത്ത് എന്ന ഘടകം അതും ഒരു ഈ മെറ്റഫറാണ് ഈ കവിതയിൽ. See, making history and recording it. What is writing? What they are writing? They are writing history and recording it. So the lines you can see: set up your home, your office, the writing desk. So script your stories here and chronicle across my line of town. So it is an image of writing, metaphor of writing. Somebody is writing history. He is recording it. He has set up an office, and he has also writing desk. So he script the colonizers' stories there. Then goes to the next part. The poem is dedicated to a soldier of the colonial world. This poem is dedicated to a soldier of the colonial world. കോളനിവൽക്കരണം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന നാട്ടിലെ ഒരു പടയാളിക്ക് വേണ്ടി സമർപ്പിച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ് ഈ കവിത. The poet is addressing him as a bold yet amorous way to colonizer, as if she is a country who has been conquered by the brutal colonizers. The poet is addressing the soldier, and the soldier is a woman like. She is in a colonial world. So colonizing the country is similar to colonizing or binding or conquering a female. So the country is country is feminine. So the soldier, a female one, has been conquered by the brutal colonizers. So there is a line like, if everything comes crashing down, it replicate. It's similar to, it's replicate with the drop of body and corporeal images used to portray the entire spectrum of emotions like love, desire, passion, dejection, despair, and scorn, making the body not just a vehicle for physical gratification but something sublime. So already I told you that the central image of the poem is the human body. It's a human body that belongs to a woman. Just like somebody conquer the human body of a female, the conqueror conquers a country. A country is similar to the body of an individual. Emotions are portrayed here. emotions like love, desire, passion, dejection, despair, scorn. So, all these emotions are attributed to the human body, the female human body. So, by that, the poet means the human body that belongs to the individual, and the conqueror conquers it. That means uh, it is it is that of surrendering love, uh, emotions like love, desire, passion, dejection, despair, such like. And finally, the person is left out with scorn. Buddy, for watching this video, we'll come with another video. Until then, goodbye. So, in this video, you listened and watched to the first module, part 2. Hope that all of you understood it. Thank you all for watching the video. We'll come with the rest part of the textbook, language skills. Until then, goodbye.